Theme park coherency. It's something that, honestly, not enough people appreciate. Half of the name theme park is theme, yet in recent years that concept has started to fade away. When you think of a true theme park, you don't imagine a random mashup of unrelated ideas and intellectual properties thrown together. You imagine a cohesive world, one where each element feels connected, transitions feel natural, and the park tells a unified story. That's the magic of great design. It's the art of making everything feel like it belongs, but that art, unfortunately, has been slowly disappearing. Over the past couple of decades, many theme parks have prioritized what sells, big name intellectual properties, over what fits. The focus has shifted from creating immersive original environments to figuring out which blockbuster franchise can be inserted where. We discussed this a ton in my last video when we were talking about the dying art of original theme park lands. Now don't get me wrong, from a business standpoint, it makes so much sense. Disney and Universal are multi-billion-dollar corporations. They have to think about what brings in crowds and keeps the parks profitable. But from a creative perspective, that approach has to come at a cost. And that cost is coherence. The parks that once felt like living, breathing stories have turned into patchworks of disconnected IP zones. And while some fans might not notice, those of us who care about the craft of themed entertainment definitely do. Let's start with Disney. Some of their parks have maintained strong thematic foundations. The classic castle parks like Disneyland and Magic Kingdom were designed around distinct themed lands: Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland. Each land has its own identity, and yet they all connect in a way that feels deliberate and immersive. Some parks add twists to their lands, like how Disneyland Paris took Tomorrowland and gave it a twist with Discoveryland, creating a more cohesive Jules Verne-inspired version of that land. That's how a theme park should work. Each land has its own flavor, but it all flows together into a single storybook world. But even Disney hasn't been immune to this modern trend of forced IP integration. Take Disneyland, for example. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is a masterpiece of theme design on its own, but does it really belong where it is? Its placement can feel abrupt, like you're suddenly teleported from Frontierland to a galaxy far, far away. Disney's Hollywood Studios is arguably the best example of a park that has completely lost its coherency. Originally, Hollywood Studios was all about showing guests how movies were made. It was a love letter to Hollywood itself, from the glitz of Sunset Boulevard to the behind-the-scenes tour that gave you a peek into movie magic. Attractions like the Great Movie Ride literally took you through the history of cinema. Tower of Terror fit the Hollywood theme perfectly, as did Rock and Roller Coaster with its Sunset Boulevard setting racing through LA. But fast forward to today, and that clear, organized identity has all but vanished. Hollywood Studios has become a hodgepodge of unrelated IPs. Star Wars, Toy Story, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, all great attractions individually, but together, they don't tell a unified story. Think about it. Why am I suddenly shrunk down to the size of a toy in Andy's backyard, and then suddenly the ground switches and I'm an alien in a galaxy far, far away? That original concept of a park that shows you how movies are made has been replaced by a park that puts you inside of the movies. Which sounds good on paper, but thematically it just doesn't connect. Hollywood Studios went from being a park about filmmaking to a park about franchises, and in that process, it lost the coherency that once made it so special. Disney isn't alone in this. Universal has had its fair share of coherence issues too, especially at Universal Studios Florida. The park's original tagline was "Ride the Movies," and back then it actually meant something. Attractions like Earthquake and Twister showed guests how special effects worked. It was both thrilling and educational, and it tied perfectly into the movie studio theme. But as time went on, Universal started chasing trends instead of maintaining theme. We lost those classic behind-the-scenes attractions and got replacements like Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon and Fast and Furious Supercharged, two rides that feel completely out of place in what was once a working studio environment. And the new DreamWorks land, while charming, also stretches that original identity thin. Universal Studios Florida, much like Hollywood Studios, has shifted from a cohesive experience about filmmaking to a collection of disconnected franchise zones. Now, let's look at two parks that actually get it right: Islands of Adventure and Epic Universe. When Islands of Adventure opened in 1999, it was a masterclass in thematic design. The park is built around the idea of separate islands, each with its own world and story, but all connected by the mythic port of entry and the surrounding lagoon. Every land flows seamlessly into the next. yet still feels distinct. There's a sense of discovery, of moving from one adventure to another, while never breaking immersion. Epic Universe, Universal's newest park, takes that same philosophy and modernizes it to an even better level. At first glance, it's a park built entirely around portals that leads to different worlds. And while that could feel disconnected, Universal solved the problem through Celestial Park, the central hub that ties everything together. It's the connective tissue that gives the park its identity. Each portal leads to a different universe, but they all share that same cosmic theme. It's cohesive, it's logical, and it feels intentional. This is how modern theme parks should approach IP integration, not by forcing it, but by creating a structure that allows each world to exist naturally within the same environment. The issue isn't limited to a single park. It's something we can see all across Florida parks right now. Magic Kingdom probably handles coherency the best, striking close to its original lands concept, but even their future expansions like the rumored Villains Land could complicate things if not handled carefully. EPCOT, on the other hand, has managed to stay somewhat true to its purpose, celebrating human achievement and global culture, but even that is starting to drift with attractions like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. It's a great ride, but thematically it doesn't really belong in a park built around innovation and international cooperation. Animal Kingdom is another park that's starting to lose focus. Its core theme is celebrating the natural world, real and mythological. But with Encanto and Indiana Jones rumored to replace Dinoland USA, that message is starting to blur. Sure, they're crowd pleasers, but how do they fit into a park about animals and conservation? And this is the heart of the problem. Modern parks often sacrifice coherence for short-term excitement. EPCOT, however, deserves some credit. Despite its changes, it's one of the few parks still trying to maintain a clear identity. Adding Remy's Ratatouille Adventure to France or Frozen Ever After to Norway at least respects the idea of cultural storytelling. Even if it's through Disney IP, it's not perfect, but it's thematically adjacent. What really gives me hope, though, is the new test track overhaul. Disney has finally reconnected the attraction to EPCOT's original mission, celebrating innovation and imagination. It's a perfect example of how you can evolve an attraction while keeping it aligned with the park's theme. What made Disney and Universal so iconic in the first place weren't the movie tie-ins, it was their original creations. Magic Kingdom became legendary because of rides like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, and Space Mountain. None of these were based on existing IPs when they opened. They were original ideas that did become so good they inspired movies and franchises of their own. That's the ultimate proof that originality still matters. Great ideas don't need to start as IPs. They become them. Unfortunately, as the modern theme park industry becomes more risk-averse, original lands have become rare. But I genuinely believe there's room for both, strong IPs and original creations, as long as they serve the park's overall theme. Coherency isn't just a design choice, it's the backbone of immersion. When a park is cohesive, every detail feels intentional. You don't have to question why something is there, you just feel like you're part of the world. It's what separates a great theme park from a collection of rides, and right now, too many parks are losing that sense of storytelling unity. The good news is it's not gone forever. Parks like EPCOT, Islands of Adventure are showing signs of improvement, and Epic Universe feels like the next big step forward. With modern technology, advanced ride systems, and decades of design experience, we have more tools than ever to build immersive, coherent worlds. What we need now is the creative courage to use them thoughtfully. At the end of the day, theme park coherency is what transforms a fun day out into an unforgettable experience. It's what makes the magic feel real, not just through rides and characters, but through the seamless storytelling that ties everything together. Some parks have lost sight of that, focusing on franchises instead of flow, but the ones that remember, the ones that still care about how everything connects, these are the parks that stand the test of time.